Hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Matt, aka Legion Rex, and welcome to what is sure to be a very smoky episode of The Gap. I am your host. With me, I have my equally as misty co-host, Shane. How are you doing today, Shane?
Nice.
That's it. That's
nice.
how I'm feeling.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
With us, we also have our other co-host, Josh. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing really good. It's been a while since it's just been the three of us.
Yeah.
It has been quite a while.
As you can see,
actually.
Spencer isn't on this podcast.
Yeah, Spencer is not here because Spencer has to work like a normal person.
Like a normal
and
What a loser.
and so he will not be with us, but he will be with us in spirit today.
Yeah, breaking his impressive track record of 6 months.
Of 6 months on the podcast nonstop. But
I don't know, man. I'm at 2 weeks now.
Wow, that's impressive for you.
Oh, we all know I'm all over the place. I'm the fucking wandering vagabond.
Yeah. Josh shows up whenever he feels like it and then dips for like 3 months.
Basically.
pretty much. We have some fun stuff to cover today. We got a lot of simulcast discussion. That's probably going to be the majority of this podcast is talking about the new simulcast because new anime season started up, and there's surprisingly a lot to talk about with this season. We have some pieces of news. Not much, but we got enough to warrant it. And of course, we got our featured anime of the podcast, which is Silver Spoon. Hope you all will enjoy that discussion. So, I think without further ado, I think we're all ready to get started here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about simulcast. So the spring season has started up, and what was once a season that looked kind of mediocre beforehand has turned into quite the unexpectedly.
It's an interesting one, to say the least.
It's got some good shit, man.
It does, but I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, Matt hasn't seen anything, so
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything because I've been very busy with school and other things. So I just haven't had the time to really sit down and be like, okay, I need to watch new shows. But I will. But don't worry. Those shows will be coming. So this is going to be mostly the Shane and Josh show.
Yeah. Father-son duo.
Yeah.
So Shane and Josh, what shows stood out for you this season? Whether it be good or bad, doesn't matter.
I think we should get the big one out of the way first.
Let's talk about the bad, which it's sad for all of us. It's One Punch Man season 2.
Okay. Actually, that's a lie. This is one I did watch, and I only watched 2 minutes, and I'm honestly thinking of dropping it.
Oh,
2 minutes
really?
In.
Ow.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, which is it's going to probably screw me over anyways, but
I feel genuinely offended from what I had watched.
Yeah,
like I feel like that this is easily the biggest anime disappointment since like Berserk 2016. I'd argue for me, and I can't. It's not as bad as Berserk 2016.
No,
because at the very least, from a story perspective, the first episode, from what at least the little bit I've seen and from what I heard, isn't completely terrible from a story perspective, at least.
It's just everything else about it is just like it really sucks because everyone knew this was probably going to happen. But it doesn't really hit you until you actually watch it. And I'm going to say this right now. I didn't completely hate it, but I also didn't like it.
Listen, it has potential, but I'm going to say Genos looked like a character from Gakko and Handsome. Get a long-ass chin. His face was so fucking distorted.
They all do. Like,
why does Saitama look like he has a sunburn, bro?
They use this weird gradient on all the characters that makes them just look like they've been out in the sun too long, and it's really really off-putting.
Listen, King just looks awful.
Kane does look awful.
Looks god awful, dude. Oh my god. Like the music, the opening is I fucking love the opening. It's jam. It's Jam Project, dude. Like, listen, animation wise, it's a garbage opening, but the actual song.
All right, I want to talk. I want to talk about that.
I hate the song too. Actually, that's the thing. I don't like the song either. I think Jam Project's this was lazy on their part. They obviously either Jam Project knew that they had a shitty season on their hands and just fucking gave it like a half-ass song, or they literally or the One Punch Man season 1 opening really was a lightning in the bottle because this song was not good.
It probably was.
I liked it, but
like the thing with me is I don't mind the song. I actually do kind of like it. Everything else about that opening is fucking terrible.
Oh my god!
It is
so
one of the worst openings I've seen in a long time.
Early contender for worst opening of the year.
Not even joking. It absolutely is.
Please, Teacher has more animation in its opening than this.
Why does this opening look like it was a fan edit? Why does it look like all the art was taken from DeviantArt?
It literally looks like that this was a fan edit from like 2 months ago that someone made. It's like, hey, we heard the song for Jam Project. Here's what I want the opening to be. And if it was a fan project, everyone would be like, you know what? Not bad, really good.
But if it was done by fucking the actual studio, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why? Who thought it was a good idea to put stock text on every fucking shot?
And one of what makes me most angry?
Yes.
What?
Where the fuck is Starman?
Well, he dead. He dead, bro.
The centipede is CG, bro.
The Elder Centipede is CG.
Oh my god.
This premiere episode is and keep in mind that trailer is only the first episode shots. And everything in that trailer was from the first episode. I am very scared to see what's coming next.
We literally have not seen anything past this,
scared.
So it's literally up in the air. The thing that gets me is that if it was just the animation being mediocre, I could deal with that. But it's everything else. Weak direction, weak writing, weak score, bad editing.
The manga for this fucking arc is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm. And that's
this is just
that's what I said in the Discord before we couple days before we recorded this. The arc that they're adapting is really fucking good. So if they just end up badly adapting it, that's gonna really suck. And so far, it's not looking very good.
It's not looking very good. We're gonna keep watching. We'll update you on the later weeks about the inevitable train wreck that will more than likely be One Punch Man Season 2. Yeah. But on another note, how are other shows?
Yeah, let's talk about other good shows.
I'll talk about something good.
Go ahead.
Isekai Quartet.
Yes, I did watch this.
It lived up to my expectations.
Yeah.
It was. So, Shane, I know you've only watched one of them, but for me, I've seen all 4, so I was really hoping to see how all the characters would interact, and it was exactly how I wanted to. Mm-hmm. It was just very funny. I think one of my favorite things is the fucking part where Ainz is like, what idiot would press this button? Aqua, let me press the fucking button!
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was just really well done.
Yeah, the thing with me is that I've only seen ReZero out of the 4, so my enjoyment probably would have been much higher had I seen all of them going in.
But as someone who's only seen ReZero, you still enjoy it?
I still enjoy it. I still liked it. It's cute. It's funny. I get the jokes.
Yeah.
It's not knocking anything out of the park for me, but still good.
I have a member of a review for this that said... that I thought was funny and said because this guy was watching it and he'd only seen like the first couple of episodes of each show, so he didn't really have any context for it, anything that was happening. And he watched it and he said, yes, so this is yes, I finally understand how people who went to go see Infinity War for the first time without seeing any Marvel films felt watching this.
You know what? Pretty much.
It's true.
He's just like, I don't know what the hell was going on. And then he gave it like a 3.5 out of 5 because he's like, yeah, it's actually pretty good outside of that.
Like,
because he said it was so good. So like,
it's good. It's a lot better for people who've watched them.
Yeah, it's a lot better for people who are in on it.
It's definitely a fan service thing.
Yes.
And I know Josh has his other show that he wants to talk about.
I can talk about that later.
No, go ahead. The rest of it is pretty much going to be me talking about like the 7 shows I watched.
We'll let Josh go first because he's got less time.
So the biggest one I was excited about this season was Helpful Fox Senko-san. And I was worried because it was Doga Kobo.
Yeah, and we know they haven't had the best track record, especially
their last 2 anime have been
questionable.
Let's say questionable, as Spencer would probably start going off a fucking rant.
Yeah, probably.
So their last 2 anime were very questionable, so I was a little nervous about this. The source material is very wholesome, but I was just worried that Doga Koba might do something on their own, and I was like, But I'm glad to say it was actually very good. For anyone who's watched Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, it has a very, very similar feel to this. It starts off with, the main character living a kind of shitty life, doing a whole bunch of office work. And then cute girl comes up and does maid work for him, basically. And it's very well animated. It's very cute. It's very fluffy. And I was very happy about it.
See, that's the thing that gets me is your comparison to Dragon Maid, because I fucking loved Dragon Maid.
I think that's what sold me. Because that's what sold me. The only thing that's not selling me is I think the animation looks a little stiff for Doga Koba standards. It
is good. It's not Doga Koba like compared to something like New Game or Yuri. It is a little more.
It is stiff, a little more limited.
It's still very good, and they put the animation where it matters into Senko. She looks super adorable, but it is really just very, very similar to Kobayashi.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the gif of the guy putting her out out on the street, and I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. I've seen that. That was funny. That was pretty funny.
Just picks her up and drops her.
Listen, he had a flashback. He was like, I don't want to get arrested for something like this.
I don't want to get arrested.
That's the thing I hate about them, is that they're so fucking self-aware with this shit. But it's like, why do you still do it?
It's like, I feel like that's what kind of weirded me out. It weirds me out about fucking, especially like Watch-A-Ten from last. Because the weird thing about that one is, from what I've heard, that show is like super self-aware and it knows exactly what it is, and it kind of like it's almost like if it was any more self-aware, like by like a little bit, it would actually have been like a parody or like a satire of itself. Yeah.
It is like 100%
which I find really weird.
But here's the thing: I know
really weird.
It is weird that she is, 800 bucks lolly and all, but the main character doesn't see her as anything but just a kid. So they don't do anything dumb. Let's put it at that.
Okay, that's good. Let's hope. Let's cross our fingers and hope.
I will definitely say I think you two will enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, once I heard the Dragon Maid comparison, I was like, "Whoa, let's go!" Okay, I'm excited now. Anything else? Because I know you watched one other one.
No, I haven't watched anything else.
Oh, yeah, no.
I haven't watched Fruits Basket yet. I still have to.
Well,
yeah, I know I need to.
Fruits Basket, I think Shane wants to talk about Fruits Basket.
Yeah. Shane, how is it?
I'm one of the people who had never read the manga and had never seen the original series from 2001. So I went into this completely blind. And boys, it is something else, all right.
How good is it?
Well, if you've been following my the best of the season charts in the Discord, it's aside from another show that premiered yesterday, it was at the top. Like, it is supreme quality. Like, writing, direction, animation, it's all top notch.
Yeah. And they're covering the entire manga. This is going to be an adaptation of the entire manga. 52 episodes.
52 episodes split across 2 seasons?
Yeah. So this year will be season 1, and then next year season 2.
This is a very well-deserved adaptation.
I can't wait for Fruits Basket to take Anime of the Year 2 years in a row, possibly.
You know what? I wouldn't even be mad.
Let me put it like this, okay? As soon as I finished watching the first episode, I immediately wanted the next one. It's that kind of show.
Oh, that's
like as soon as it ends, you feel empty because there's nothing else.
This show is going to make me cry. I know it because it's going to be one of those shows.
It's also one of those shows where it kind of makes you cry in the first episode, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just
but I've been wanting a good romance for a while, dude. So this is like,
oh no, this is right up your alley, dude. It is hardcore.
Fruits Basket is the Fruits Basket is basically the Fullmetal Alchemist of romance. It is the pinnacle of the genre, pretty much. And it is most likely going to be the Brotherhood of this generation if it keeps the quality up. Yeah, it's going to be.
I think it will keep it up.
Yeah. If Fullmetal Alchemist was like Shonen's one of the big defining stuff, for Fruits Basket is like for shoujo, and it's pretty much exactly what you would want it to be. I haven't seen the original anime. I want to because I've heard it's quite good, and I hope and I would love because after this season airs, for Fruits Basket, I might go back and watch the first series and be like, what did they change?
Honestly, we should cover the first series on the show.
The first, yeah, we should. The first series, by the way, from what I've heard, is more comedic based than romance based. That's the big difference.
And you know what? The studio behind the new one is also done a lot of really good shit.
Well, yeah, it's TMS.
Like a few to mention,
they did Megalobox last year.
They did Megalobox, Takagi-san, Sweetness and Lightning.
Oh,
they
did Lupin the Third.
Yeah, they did Lupin the Third. They're doing Dr. Stone next season. So
they've done a lot of really good stuff. So.
I'm very excited for what they have planned.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can easily say the Fruits Basket lived up to the hype. Easy.
Was another show that lived up to the hype.
You know, Shane, I have a question for you.
Yes, son.
What topped Fruits Basket?
You know, I want to save that for the end because I feel like that's fitting. I'm gonna talk about the bad shit first though, because there's a bad show that I forgot to mention.
Is it Yuno?
It's Yuno.
You know what we're talking about, boys.
God!
What is the show and who is it for?
It's based on a visual novel from 2005.
No, actually, did you know it's based on an even earlier visual novel from the late 90s that was on the Sega Saturn?
What the hell?
I found that out.
I bet it was why is it? Is it one of those fucking? Why is this adaptation happening now?
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't.
Who was this? Was it maybe Yuno fans from the Sega Saturn days? Nobody bought the Sega Saturn.
I don't know, man. I have no idea who this is, who this is for, but it was something, all right. Let me find my thoughts.
Is that all I got from Shane after he watched this episode was that he was going to wait for dub for this, and he was also going to watch every single episode.
This is absolutely a trash dub watch. It's terrible. Let me find my fucking notes. Here we go. So I watched the first episode, subbed, just to get a feel for it. When I first watched it, I said, it's aight. No, it's not. The first
scene it's not.
The first scene after the OP is the MC and a teacher who's barely wearing clothes talking about how hard his dick is.
Oh, my kind of show.
This guy is just the horniest fucking bastard, to the point where he screams in joy when his mail-ordered porn shows up. He strips in front of his female classmates, and he's apparently fucked one of his teachers.
What?
Man.
It's good so man. Bad.
My whole thing, the fucking, at the very least, he's open about his horniness.
Yeah.
Here's
the thing. The first half of that episode is that unfunny, overly dirty garbage, and the second half is just nonsensical sci-fi shit. It's like you took two different shows and just mashed them together, and
this is going to be 26 episomes, by the way.
26 episo's.
It's 26.
I'm gonna watch every single
It's a double core. It's double core. It's fucking. It's from the same studio as the people did Island.
They did. You know what?
It's
going
Studio
in, I was
Feel,
like, this is going
it's
to be
Studio
the
Feel.
Island. This is going to be the Island of this year. and it totally is. It's living up to
Island
those
was our guilty pleasure. Island was your guilty pleasure of last year.
Absolutely. So who knows? This might follow up. But goddamn, it's so bad.
Fucking, I'm pretty sure like that's probably the worst show you watched this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I need to watch After Loss because I've heard that thing is even worse.
I'm waiting for dub on that.
Awful.
I've heard some things.
I've heard it's awful. So like I'm very excited for that in a lot of ways.
Some other quick stuff that I just want to cover real quick. Hitori Bochi, very funny, extremely funny. This is about the girl who has extreme social anxiety and she like barfs whenever she sees people.
Very relatable.
It's
and she's been
relatable.
Using every image from that show as like a reaction image for the past week.
Basically, it's honestly, it might be comedy of the year if it keeps it up because I was fucking dying when I watched that shit. It's not.
And the animation is really good.
Oh yeah, the animation is very good, and it's not only the fact that it's extremely funny, but it's also really relatable because I don't know about you, I don't like people. I don't like talking to people.
Why am I here? I don't like people.
How'd you
Who
get
are
my
you
house?
people?
I don't even like talking in general. So like, why?
Oh, here, let me just mute myself forever. Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, Hitori Bochi, very funny. Senryu Girl, this was the show that Spencer told me about. It's about the girl who only speaks in haikus.
Oh, this one. I've heard good things about
it's
this.
very cute. This season is like prime slice of life romance season. Because
you mean it's a Josh season?
It's a Josh season. It is extremely a Josh season. But the show's very cute. It's only short, so it's like 10 minutes an episode, so it's very easy to watch. It's just real cute, and that's all I really have to say about it. It's just character chemistry is great, writing is good. It's just good all around.
It's like how do you find Josh in a lost crowd? Spring 2019.
Just throw Giguk at him. Whenever he puts out his spring video, just throw that in the crowd.
Shinkai, is that you?
You.
Well, let's move on. We Never Learned. This was the show that I wasn't sure if I was going to end up watching. And then I watched the first episode, I'm like, you know what? Pretty good. That's all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, fuck it. I've heard good things about the first episode for this.
It's very.
I know it has ecchi stuff later on, but not much of it.
Nani?
Yeah, that's what's scaring me.
There's a little bit of it. I've seen some stuff in the manga, and there's a little bit of it. Not much. It's not the focus though. Like it's lit like bursts. It's like small.
Did
bursts.
someone say ecchi?
Go away, Josh. Stop being horny on main.
It's like, how do I describe it? It's like the same amount of ecchi you would see in like a more like raunchy shonen, battle shonen.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty much.
Not much.
What one are we talking about?
Not high school DD levels.
Never. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not high school DD levels, but like
no, nothing. We're talking like what?
But then
like it's like the more raunchy show, it's like a beat, like the type of fan service you would see, like if it was like a beach episode of like Bleach or Naruto or something.
Yeah,
or Fairy Tail. I think Fairy Tail is actually an better example for that, to be honest.
But a lot tamer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was pretty good. I'll continue to watch it because the writing was actually pretty solid, and I like the characters. So
I think that's what's going to save it for you is that the characters are quite. I've heard the characters are quite very, very good in this. So.
And then the last two shows I want to talk about are the big ones. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh.
Which
my eyes.
You can't see it, but on the Discord, that's my theme right now.
This is his shonen of the season. This is his shonen.
This is very good shit.
Oh yeah.
This is like, if it keeps up the quality, which I have faith that it will.
It's ufotable. It's going to.
Yeah, it could be a high contender for anime of the year. It's up there because that first episode was freaking great. I watched it like 3 times too. Like
how it's that good, huh?
Yeah, everything is on point. It's got really good direction, great animation. It falls into a couple of standard shonen traps, like over exposition and a lot of narration. But you know what? I can't hold it against that because it is a shonen. Most of them are like that, and a lot of them still end up being really good despite that. So,
yeah.
It has dead-eyed characters. Their fucking eyes make them look like zombies. There's just like soulless eyes.
All I know is that someone described it as like, this is a shonen, but if it had the violence of Berserk, and it's like, ooh.
I mean, based on the first episode, we have to see more because it's relatively tame for this kind of thing, even though you see, you know, an entire family slaughtered. But I'm sure it'll get to that level later on. But in terms of just the first episode, not a whole lot of that. With that being said, though, this show's fucking great, and you should be watching it.
I was gonna say, it fucking looks gorgeous, dude.
It's early contender for art of the year for me because the art style is my kind of shit.
Yeah,
like I love this kind of super hyper stylized art, and this is giving it to me in bucketfuls. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. You should be watching this show. And then the show of the season, show of the year probably, Sarazanmai. That's all I have to say about that. Let's move on.
Sarazanmai.
Let's move on.
Shane has gone on diff on his Twitter about how it's the best show he's ever seen, possibly.
I'm going to keep it brief, because if I go all out, we'll be here like all day. Best show of the season, potentially best show of the year, best direction of the year so far, best animation, best music, best opening, best ending. Like, everything about this show is freaking amazing. And I'm going to put this in extreme layman's terms. If you liked Fully Cooley, you need to watch this. So, Josh, you should watch this show if you liked Fully Cooley.
Alright, I'll try it.
Because, to put it into perspective, this show gave me the exact same feelings I had when I watched Fully Cooley for the first time. It's that kind of show. It's super artsy, super out there. It'll probably make you go, what the fuck, at least 3 times. But I'm in love with it, dude. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
This is your first Ikuhara, too. This is your first Ikuhara, considering, imagine his other stuff now.
Yeah. Like, this is the first true Ikuhara show that I've watched. Because he wasn't like the primary director on Review.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he didn't even work on Review. It was just one of his.
It was one of his undergrads, right?
Yeah, Review kind of, I think, prepped you for this because Review is like Ikuhara light.
This makes Review look like just like your standard generic anime by comparison.
Damn.
And honestly, just based on that first episode, it makes Fully Cooley look a bit tame.
Damn.
So
that's some really fucking high praise. That's some high praise there.
It is super out there, but I love it. Easily best show of the season so far.
And it's going to be 11 episodes too. So
yeah, so it's gonna be a nice quick watch. I want it. I want more now, please.
All right. So I think we're both done talking about simulcast. I think that's there's still stuff that needs to air. I know Bungo started back up today.
Yep. Actually, I watched the first episode of Bungo. Very good. Pretty much, if I'm the only one here who has watched Bungo, so if Spencer was here, he'd be going off. It's more Bungo. It's great. I love it. They're doing something very similar to what they did in season 2, where it doesn't follow directly after the end of the previous season. It starts in the past to tell a prequel story that will then lead into the events happening in the present. And I like that.
If Spencer was here, we get a full episode review.
Yeah. Full episode reviews with Spencer. Bungo straight out.
An analysis describing the entirety of each character motivation. Yeah.
He'd probably display his thesis on the morality of Dazai.
Fucking is Dazai did nothing wrong according to Spencer.
Dazai didn't do anything wrong.
Good old Spencer.
But
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We still got stuff airing. Attack on Titan doesn't air for like another 2 weeks.
Attack on Titan doesn't air until the end of the month. So
because it's only 10 episodes. So which means for dub we're not gonna get it till at the end of May.
Yeah, we're not gonna get it until like June. So
so like cause Toonami. We'll in any case, I think we're pretty much good. So let's move on to some news.
I like news.
Let's move on to some news. We don't have much, but let's talk about some of the stuff. The first announcement, first piece of news is that we are getting more we are getting more Mob Psycho, not One Punch. We have more One Punch. We're getting.
That's not good.
Yeah, we're getting more Mob again.
Yeah, yeet.
There's an one is actually is going to be helping write a new OVA for Mob Psycho. And it's going to now. I found this funny because this news came on April Fool's Day in Japan, and they had to clarify that this was not an April Fool's
joke. This ain't a joke. This is actually happening.
They literally had to put a disclaimer in the video.
This is actually happening.
Like, no, this is not an April Fool's joke. Because I forget what Bones' April Fool's joke. I think Bones' April Fool's joke was that they were making like a spin-off of like FMA with fucking Hughes' daughter or something like that.
I think the worst joke. I think the worst one for me was the fucking Mira Camp and A Place Further crossover.
Yeah, that one was mean. That was just mean.
I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, it's happened!"
And then you saw the date,
and I was like, "Oh." My disappointment is innumerable. My day is ruined.
My day just started. It's already gone to shit.
But yeah, there's going to be an OVA for it. They haven't revealed what it's going to be about, but it's going to be an original story. That's apparently canon according to one.
Okay.
And it will be directed by, and the entire staff is returning for this. It will be and since there's an OVA. And it's written by one. You can expect that it's probably going to be after this.
Yeah.
All I heard was Josh's heavy breathing coming from.
Yeah, what the hell's going on with you?
Sorry, I was getting a drink from my fridge.
Yeah. Also, your mic is like really loud and staticky all of a sudden. Calm your shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Mob Psycho is getting more it's getting more anime. Speaking of stuff that's more but not anime, we have a lot of live action news this week,
which means we can skip it, right?
Yeah,
we can technically, but I'm not going to. So we've known for fucking. Once again, it appears the live-action Akira continues to haunt us because we keep getting news about this fucking thing.
Isn't it happening again?
Again?
Apparently, it's happening again.
Again.
And apparently because Warner Brothers has to shoot this thing within the year or they lose the rights to Akira. So
they have to have it basically in post-production by the end of 2019.
They have to have it in production.
Oh dear.
They have to have it in post-production by 2020. So apparently what they're going to do is they're going to shoot it in California. So pretty much that, you know, that Americanized script that was rolling around for Akira a while back, but they decided not to do it because they wanted to, like, you know, actually do it right. Well, they have to do it in 180 days, so they're going to do that anyways because they just need to make the movie or they lose the rights to this fucking thing.
So it's going to be rushed.
I don't know. All we know is that Taika Waititi is confirmed directing this. Taika Waititi is actually directing this.
Now, see, that's a saving grace, because even if it's a rush job, it could end up being decent.
Yeah. And they released some new plot details about it. For one, the characters are staying Asian or Asian American.
Good.
So even though it will be set in Neo Manhattan, not Neo Tokyo, but we'll still have a mostly Japanese or Asian American cast.
Okay.
And the only American character that's being turned American is the Colonel.
Makes sense.
Again, it's Neo Manhattan, so again, makes sense. But there's been some major changes made to the storyline of this, and I'm talking like pretty big changes. For one, Kanada's no longer a gang leader. He's a shady bar owner. He's a lot older. He's not a teenager in this either. I think he's. I don't know if he's a teenager. I think he's either like he's older in this version. He's not like 16. I think he's like 18 or 19 in this version.
Yeah,
so he's a little older. Yeah, he's a little older. Tetsuro's his brother in this version. Tetsuro's his brother, and his brother gets Tetsuro's and K has been renamed as Kai Lee in this version. As Kai Lee in this. Outside of that, pretty much the plot is the same. Pretty much the plot is the same, and if you know the original Akira, spoilers for Akira, 30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
You know that Akira is dead in the film. Akira has been like dissected and like chopped up and like studied. Well, in the original manga, you know that's not true. In the original manga, Akira is actually alive and well, was just his cryostasis, and Tetsuro brings him back, and all shit goes to hell. They're following that version. So ironically, even though there's going to be changes to the source material, this will ironically be closer to the original source material than the animated film was, which I find very, very funny.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. Here's the thing: Taika Waititi directing this actually like gets my hopes up. Like, I don't really care about the changes to the source material too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care as long as they keep the tone.
Yeah,
the themes of Akira intact, the like nuclear paranoia, the social unrest, the rebellion, and all that stuff. To keep that in there, and Taika Waititi is such a good director that I think he can keep that. Like, I've never seen a movie of his that I've hated. I've loved every single one of his films. So like, I'm very, very excited to see. I'm very excited to see what he does. That being said, my only thing is that they're going to rush it because
they're probably going to rush it.
They need to film this within 180 days, or they lose the tax. They not only lose the tax credit for California to shoot it there, but they also lose the rights entirely to Akira.
Which means after that they won't be able to make it.
Yeah.
And it's Warner Brothers too, so and Leonardo DiCaprio will be producing this because apparently he's a huge fan of the manga. So.
That's okay.
Leonardo, who know? The more you realize that bunch of fucking weebs.
Celebrities are just a bunch of fucking nerds.
Fucking. Did y'all fucking? You know that like Vin Diesel's a GM for D&D.
Seriously?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
All right. So.
God.
Speaking of live action stuff, this is the one I'm more excited about, and that's the Cowboy Bebop stuff.
Yes,
actually,
yes.
They released the cast. They casted most of the Bebop. The only person they did not cast was Ed because they're still looking for an actor. But they revealed the cast. The big one is the guy they got to play Spike. Shane, I'm pretty sure you saw who they got to play Spike. They got John Cho to play Spike, who I want to say right now, great fucking choice. Absolutely amazing choice. I am very, very happy with what they got. The rest of the cast is pretty much, the cast is pretty great. They confirmed that they also confirmed the length of it. It's going to be 10 episodes. And it will be, and they've classified it that it's going, and they classified it as a dramatic series. So it's going to be, so they're taking this which in television terms means that this is going to be prestige television, like top tier, big budget HBO style television, which means that they're taking this very, very seriously.
Which that makes me happy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me very happy. Look, I've always said Bebop is like one of the few anime that I feel like could be a live action show very, very easily. And you know what? They're doing it good. They're doing it justice. I'm very quite excited. And the person who's directing the first 2 episodes, his name is Alex Garcia Lopez, and he is best known for directing the pilot episode for Daredevil. And he also directed that episode of Daredevil that had the hallway fight.
Oh shit! Okay.
He also did episodes of Utopia, which is a great show that everyone should watch, and no one has watched, which pisses me off. He's also the showrunner for the upcoming Witcher show for Netflix. Okay. So he's got some pedigree. So yeah, that's happening, and I'm very, very excited to see what they come next. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get there's probably gonna be filming later this year. Probably come out later next. It's probably coming next year.
It's coming next year. Yeah, I think they already confirmed it for 2020. Actually,
I don't. There's not confirmed for. But I'm just guessing 2020 to be honest. From how fast announcements are coming out, it's probably 2020. Speaking of announcements that I didn't expect, 7 Deadly Sins.
What the heck's up with this shit?
Sins, as we know, the manga is wrapping up very, very soon. And because of that, obviously there's going to be a new anime coming for it. The 7 Deadly Sins is coming back for a 3rd and confirmed final season. So this is going to cover everything up then. Yeah, it will be called. It's going to be called 7 Deadly Sins: Wrath of the Gods. But there's the big news is that they're changing studios. A1 is no longer going to be doing this. It's going to be Studio Dean. You know what? I'm fine with that. It's going to be Studio Dean with a brand new director, Susumu Nishizawa, who has worked on 7 Deadly Sins before. He was the storyboarding guy for Revival of the Commandments. Okay. And this is not surprising considering that every single installment of 7 Deadly Sins has had a new director on it. So and there will be a new writer. The new writer is Rintaro Ikara, who has never worked on 7 Deadly. So he's a new guy. They bring in. I think I think with the director it should be fine. Yeah, especially if he's already worked on 7 Deadly Sins before, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. In fact, this is the only thing that worries me. In fact, while there was some staff similarities between the first 2 seasons and Signs of Holy War in the movie, this season will have a completely new staff entirely. The only people returning from the previous season are the composers, Hiroyuki Sawano, Kota Yamato, and Takawa Fumiyama. They're the only people returning from the previous seasons, and they're composing the new music for the season. The entire cast is also returning. So outside of that, it's pretty much but outside of that, it's going to be a mostly new staff. However, from what I understand, it's going to, since Studio Dean doesn't have much on its plate this year, it's all hands on deck for Dean with this. So sweet.
I was kind of skeptical when I heard that at first, but if it's Konosuba levels of quality, then it should be more than fine.
It should be fine. I have faith. This is not a JC staff situation.
No, this is Studio Dean, who's done a lot of good shit.
This is Studio Dean, and now if you're wondering why this happened, it's probably because it's Kodansha again.
Kodansha.
It's Kodansha again. But also, apparently, from what I've read, season 2 of 7 Deadly Sins was a fucking mess of production problems, and with an untrained director who had no idea what he was doing. And apparently they went like $1 million over budget.
Ooh.
Ouch.
And so it was pretty bad. I think this is a quality control thing. I think this is like a contain the source. Like,
yeah, that's a big no-no.
Outside of that, but this will be the final season of 7 Deadly Sins. So if you're a fan of 7 Deadly Sins, this is definitely, you need to watch this. If you want to see the wrap up to the story with your favorite characters.
Yeah, my question is, will the manga be over before this airs, and will it cover the end of the manga?
Yes, yes. Well, the manga is got like a couple weeks left, and at the most. So like it's in the epilogue right now. So more than likely the manga will be completely done by the time this airs, which means that they can follow the manga to its completion.
Cool.
Think about how rare an anime can follow this manga to its completion.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, does it?
Nope. But with that, let's move on to a final news story, and then we finally got a trailer for One Piece Stampede.
Yes. It looks like One Piece.
It looks like One Piece, and it's got 38 returning characters in the film.
Like literally, like everyone is coming back. All the
Damn.
big ones.
All the Straw Hats, all 3 major admirals, all the supernovas, Crocodile is there for some fucking reason. Blackbeard is in it. And that's not including all the new characters they're introducing, because they have like fucking like 10 new characters as well showing up.
This is gonna be.
This is from what I understand, this is an anniversary film. So this is all I know is it's an anniversary film, and there's going to be a film original character. His name is Douglas Bullet, and he's a former member of Goldie Rogers' crew.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And he is a promoter for the Pirates World's Fair, which is a festival by pirates for pirates.
Cool.
Other cast members include. And there's other new characters include Brina Festa, who is one of Douglas Bullis' crew. You have a new character named Anne, who has like fucking fluffy ass green hair, and a guy whose name is Donald Moderate, who literally looks like Trump. So I'm pretty sure they have a Trump character in this.
Awesome, because that's what I would need in my One Piece.
Yes.
Keep in mind that Oda was not involved with this film in particular, unlike the previous ones, because apparently he didn't like the story for this, so he dropped out and they did it anyways. He didn't like it because he doesn't like them touching Goldie Roger stuff in other materials. So he respectfully bows out of whenever they want to touch Goldie Roger's like stuff, because he feels like it removes the mystery of Goldie Roger and stuff. He doesn't like it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I thought he just dipped out because it was like bad.
No. He contributed some character designs. He contributed the character design for Douglas Bullet, so he still worked on it. He just didn't write the story for it.
So it's kind of like a pre-Super DBZ movie situation where Toriyama just supplied character designs, but he wasn't involved in any of it.
Yeah, it was like it's also like pre One Piece Strong World. They used to do this with all the One Piece films pre Strong World, and then Strong World, Z, and Gold happened, which were all co-written by written or co-written by Oda, and then Stampede and now Stampede is like the first one since then that Oda's not involved in. You can tell because unlike the other one, this one's called One Piece Stampede and not One Piece Film. One Piece Films are there to designate the ones that Oda works on.
Okay.
Well, this one's just called One Piece Stampede. There's no like One Piece Film in the title, so like this is a completely separate thing entirely. Also, the art style is a little different from the Oda films. It's a little bit more scratchy. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more old school One Piece.
Yeah, it's got that new line filter that Toei has been using with the
it looks a lot like Broly actually in terms of its line filters.
Yeah,
actually,
a lot of people were like, "Oh, is that Shintani?" It's like, no, it's just the new filter that Toei's using.
I'm pretty sure they saw the success of Broly and was like, you know what, let's do it for everything. I don't mind.
Makes sense.
And yeah, so One Piece Stampede is coming out this year, which means that we're probably going to get it later this year too. G.A.P of the movies, One Piece Stampede. Let's go. And with that, let's move on to. I want to talk about fucking the anime sales chart for a second because some more shows from last season have come out on like Blu-ray and stuff, and I'm very confused as to what the hell Japan's smoking right now.
Oh no!
Because all right, so here's some stuff I read up. So Boogie Pop mega bombed.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me.
Boogie Pop bombed, but guess what did bomb? And I'm very upset about it. Promise Neverland.
Really?
Promise Never 700 Blu-rays. That's it. It did not do very well at all.
Are the Japanese stupid?
I mean, like, do we even have to ask?
No. You know, that's an easy answer.
It bombed. It thankfully it was saved by really good DVD sales. Like we're talking like damn great DVD sales.
Okay, so, that's good.
And keep in mind that it's been out for a little bit. So like it's been an absolute mess so far for it, and it's been a shame that it has not been doing as well as it should. And they just announced a season 2, so that might sting. It's
that's
ugh.
not.
Not good. Endro did better than it. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Fuck off, Japan.
Endro sold 1,335. Girly Air Force also bombed.
You know what? Relatable.
Not surprised. Mob Psycho did pretty well though. I think 1,600 on its first week, which is very impressive. And keep in mind that the original Mob Psycho throughout its average for its final run was around 4,000. So this is pretty much in line with Mob Psycho's previous performance. So
good.
Nothing's changed there. I think the most surprising performance of the season has been Mononiken, actually.
Did it blow up?
Okay, the original first season, in total, its average was 1,400. So respectable. Not great, but respectable.
That's pretty good.
In this first week, this did 2,000. It actually gained fans over the course of the second season.
That's really
so, which
weird.
means it's the rare season that does better than the first season, which means that we're probably gonna get a third season of this very soon.
Probably good.
That's really weird because as someone who did watch the entirety of season 2 as it was airing, it's just really more of the same, to be honest.
I think that's probably why it's still doing better, because now it has a consistent fan base now, and now it just has more people like getting into it. I think that's probably what it is. But the two big surprises for me were the first one was Kaguya-sama, which is around 5,000 copies right now.
Yeah, you know what? I expected that.
Kaguya-sama's exploding, but not exploding as much as this show. All right, did any of you watch Mineria Friends last season?
What?
Mineria Friends for last season.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so you know that Shigeki no Bahamut show that came out last season? Mineria Friends. It was a shorter show that came out last season. You could buy it. It was that show that was delayed for quite a while and then it finally aired last season. You probably look it up. You go look it up on Mal. It's on there. This show, how much do you think it sold?
10,000.
A lot?
More than that.
20,000.
16,000. First volume. 16,000.
Okay.
If overflow. Fucking average. Its average right now is 15,000. And keep in mind that this is a Shigeki no Bahamut show, and the other ones have barely crossed 3,000. So this one,
what the hell happened
in Japan, exploded because it's a bunch of cute girls in it.
You know what?
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
That's Japan for you.
And I'm just looking at this now because I'm just looking at the sales charts. Quintuplets sold like 8,000. What the hell?
It's because Japan likes their redheads.
I mean, I like my redheads too.
It's because listen, it's because Japan's horny on Maine.
Yeah, stop being horny on Maine, Japan.
Yeah, and Wiz still bombs.
You didn't even have to mention that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
So yeah, now you know that Japan is done. All right, so let's move.
Japan horny as fuck.
Japan is very horny, and I think and move on. Anime of the podcast.
Ooh.
Now this is we got this show via randomizer last time.
I think we can say it was our best randomizer.
No.
You still think Poco?
We got Bebop via randomizer, dude.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
we got Bebop. Bebop was the randomizer.
The first round.
Literally just been downhill from there, to be completely honest with you. But today we're going to be covering the comedic slice of life shonen called Silver Spoon. Now Silver Spoon. Yeah, Silver Spoon has 2 seasons, so we're covering both seasons. Season 1 is directed by Tomohiko Ito and written by Taku Kishimoto from Studio A1 Pictures and aired for 11 episodes from July 11th, 2013 to September 19th, 2013. And it's currently licensed by Aniplex of America, and you can watch it on Crunchyroll if you so desire in the links below. And Season 2 was directed by Kotomi VA and also written by Taku Kishimoto from Studio A1 Pictures, aired for another 11 episodes from January 9th, 2014 to March 27th, 2014, and it is also licensed by Aniplex of America. Now, so we're going to do it like we do with both seasons. We're going to split this into 2 sections. We're going to talk about Season 1 in one section and Season 2 in another section, because we have very different thoughts on both seasons. I think at least Shane does. Let's talk about the first season. Some basic premise of Silver Spoon follows a student named Yugo Hachiken who fails a lot of the entrance exams for the high school he plans to attend. So he decides he's going to go to an agricultural high school. At least he initially assumes as an easy way to coast through high school and then get to whatever university he wants to go to. However, as he soon learns, it's not all what he seems. He finds himself as a fish out of water in the countryside as he deals with his new situation, as well just worrying about what he wants to do in the future and dealing with his overbearing family constantly in the back of his mind telling him, you can do better, you just stop failing. Josh, what do you think of Silver Spoon?
Yeah, let's get Josh out of the way because he probably has the kindest words.
Silver Spoon was good. For me, it was very relatable since I did grow up on a farm for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this stuff was relatable to me. I thought it was really good. It was a little slow. It was a little slow paced, especially compared to its brother season. Mm-hmm. But I think animation-wise, music-wise, art style and everything, it was very well done. All the characters felt very compelling and very real. I just enjoyed it. It was very well done. A man of few words I am.
You know, I have to agree with you, son, because I'm also a man of few words in this situation.
All right. Shane, what do you think of Silver Spoon?
I'm going to put this out there. I really like the show. It did a lot of great things. It's very well produced. Writing is great. The character relationships are the best part of the show. In terms of like long-lasting opinion, I have very baseline feelings. Like, I really like the show. I still gave it a very high grade. But I don't think I'm going to remember it that fondly come like next year. Like, this doesn't strike me as like a long-lasting show that's just like etched into my memory. Like, it's a good show and it was a good watch and I liked it very much. But yeah, it just seems very standard to me. And this sounds very negative. It sounds more negative than I want it to because I still did really like it. But I just don't have many complicated or complex feelings about this show.
I think it's hard to have a complicated feelings about the show when the show itself is not that complicated of a show.
Yeah,
and especially for like as a standalone thing, I really loved this. I really loved it. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that something about it reminded me of. I mean, it's obvious Arakawa worked on this because something about it reminded me of like the more comedic sections of Fullmetal Alchemist, like a lot. And it probably is because, as Shane described it, it's pretty much what if Fullmetal Alchemist had no alchemy, was in Risen Bull, and it was about fucking Ed being an idiot. And there you go. That's pretty much exactly what Silver Spoon is.
Pretty much.
If that sells you then watch this show right away because that's the best thing I can describe it. I really like this show, pretty much from basically every perspective. with the exception of one thing, and we'll get into it later. But it's a weird thing for a slice of life that I'm gonna bring in to talk about, especially in the first season. That I'll mention. That like first season is that I'll mention it more in the criticism section. But I think for a slice of life, it doesn't take a break. It doesn't sit down and like allow you to just enjoy the moment. It's really fast. This is a really fast fucking show, just in terms of pacing, and you're just kind of like by the end of it, you're kind of like it's really fucking it's more of a comedy, to be honest, than a slice of life. I'm gonna be completely honest.
It focuses a lot more on the comedic elements than most of these kind of shows do.
Yeah, it really does. Comedy's very good though. This is a very funny.
Oh yeah.
Show. I think we'll fucking need to make it clear that this show was fucking hilarious. If you're looking for a really funny comedy, this is definitely this is a great one to pick up. Anyways, let's get into more detail. Shane, what was your favorite episode of season 1?
I'm pretty sure, unless Josh is the wild card, I'm pretty sure we all have the same episode. It's episode 10.
What?
Favorite episode?
Oh, mine was episode 4.
Episode 4. Oh,
you know what? That was my runner-up. Actually.
You know what? Let's go talk about episode 4 for a second. Josh, why is episode 4 Hachiken Bakes Pizza your favorite episode?
Hachiken Bakes episode 4. I feel like was the stepping stone for Hachiken as a character in the show, because before this he was kind of just like, I don't know how I feel about this school. I mean, like, it's I don't know. He
was just flying by the seat of his pants.
Yes, and then he starts cleaning up the school with everyone else, and he finds a pizza oven. And then he's like, you know what? All his friends are like, you should make a pizza. And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a pizza. And then he realizes that the friends he has there are more important than anything else. And he realizes that he's actually there to have a good time. And it introduces
like 6 dozen pizzas.
It also introduces one of my favorite characters, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really good episode that just like sells home the fact that he does belong there and that his friends are very important.
You know what? That was my runner-up. But my favorite episode, and I assume Matt's favorite episode, is episode 10. Which
episode 10 is my favorite.
Hachiken says goodbye to Pork Bowl.
This episode made me cry.
Dude.
Fucking little bitch.
It was a very sad episode. I will agree with that.
The thing I like about this episode the most is that the entire season has been building up to this moment. Like, literally every aspect of the season up until this point has been building up to this moment when Hachiken has to let go of Pork Bowl. And god damn it, it's fucking sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It is, but it's, you know what? It also is it feels very deserving. Like, it was built up really well.
It's like the defining moment for Hachiken as a character, because after this point, he finally realizes that he's grown up a little, he's become more mature, and he can start to take the harder choices more seriously.
And it throws a bit of a curveball at you too, because he's like, I'm going to buy the pig.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, Hachiken, but he's like, I want to buy the meat. And it's like, oh, he realizes that
I want to eat Pork Bowl.
Yeah, and then who knew that eating bacon would be the most emotionally crushing thing?
Yeah. Who knew that just a bunch of people eating bacon would be so emotionally resonant?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't do well with animal slaughter or animal death, like, at all.
The slaughterhouse scene got me, dude. Just a little.
I don't do well with it. And then having this, I knew about Silver Spoon's a little bit more graphic material going in. I knew that it was there, but like I did not expect him to go that hard on it. So I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's the 1-2 punch of Hachiken sending Pork Bowl off and, coming to terms with that, and then immediately after watching the video of the slaughterhouse. It's like the first part, he makes his decision and he comes to terms with it and he's okay with it, and then he learns exactly what the consequences of that decision is.
Yeah, what happens.
Yeah,
and it doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it's like it's really powerful stuff. And I like what they did with the like. There's a character in this who wants to be a vet.
Yeah.
Ikawa.
Yeah, Ikawa. His reaction to the slaughterhouse got me. I think that like that would
have been me in that classroom. No word of a lie.
Yeah, fucking. And I do like the whole thing of like Hachiken's like, I don't want to see this, but it's like I feel like I have to.
Yeah, I feel like I have to fully understand my decision.
Yeah,
and, like that's a great moment of character growth.
Yeah, and it's really really good. That episode 10 is just fantastic, beginning to end.
I think I think all the episodes were really just fantastic.
There's not a bad episode. There's no bad episodes in this show. Each episode's really damn great.
There's some that are clearly better than others, but they're all a consistent level of quality.
Yeah,
there was definitely a consistent level of good.
I think that's one of the biggest things this show has going for it is it's very consistent.
It's very consistently great, and I think that's definitely has something going for it. Let's talk about characters. Who's your favorite character from the first season of Silver Spoon?
For me, it's actually the principal.
You know what? I totally understand that.
The principal is fucking funny. I don't care.
Great.
I like the principal because he's the fucking sage, man. He's a sage.
Can you please get me down to this haystack?
He dishes out some of the most useful advice that helps like the characters guide their way. Like, especially with Hachiken, like that principal just like really helps him come to terms with everything.
It's like, hey, it's okay to run away if it means that you can live your life the way you want to.
Yeah,
don't be ashamed of that. I'm like,
that's
he's like powerful message.
He's like, don't be ashamed of who you are, man.
And the principal's great. But my favorite character for season 1 is Hachiken.
Yeah, easy.
He's like number 2. He's number 2, man.
Hachiken's what a great protagonist.
One of the better ones that we've seen lately.
Yeah, what a fucking fantastic protagonist.
He's got the same thing that I have for Subaru.
Yeah.
He's relatable.
Very
relatable.
Yeah. Yes, he's an idiot. The show does not hide the fact that this man is really stupid at times. But like, I think what makes Hachiken such a great character is he's a very three-dimensional, complicated character. If there's something about if the show Silver Spoon itself is not complicated, Hachiken himself is complicated. He's a very complex, three-dimensional, relatable character with a lot of depth and a lot of emotions bottled up. And the show, and the first season especially, really goes into Hachiken's own personal development as a person, and it's great.
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I was just stretching my legs. The thing about Hachiken that I like is, again, throughout the course of the season, as he learns more and more things, when he's hanging out in Ezuno, he's not afraid to really express himself later on. Like, at first he is, because he's like, why the fuck am I here? I don't want to be here. Who wants to be here? Fuck this shit. And then later on, he gets to know the people, he gets to learn about agriculture, and he starts to grow this like deep-seated appreciation for it, and that kind of like opens the door for him to truly express who he is and what he wants to do, and it shows his more helpful, kind-hearted nature, and of course he has his conflictions about his parents and, you know, what he wants to do with his life, but he's never scared of
talking about it.
Yeah, he's never scared to discuss himself with others.
He's very open about his emotions, which is a great.
He isn't at first. He's kind of bottled up.
You know what though? It's a great contrast though to Mikage.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
agreed.
Aki is a dense bitch.
She's adorable. She's lovable, but she's Karasuma's nickname, denser than dense.
All right, let's talk about least favorite though. With every favorite must come a least favorite. There's always a least favorite. Now, Silver Spoon is one of those shows that I'd argue doesn't really have.
I have an easy choice.
Badly written characters, so like it makes this harder.
I have my least favorite.
Who is it?
It's Hachiken's dad.
Hachiken's dad. Oh boy,
he's a cunt.
I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that he's more prominent in the second season than the first.
Yeah,
you know what? No, I have no one else I hate. So, like all the characters are just really well made.
Fucking Shane, who's your least favorite?
I don't. This was hard because again, there's not really any characters I despise.
Yeah.
That being said, my least favorite character is Tomoko because fuck her.
Tomoko?
She a bitch.
Who is Tomoko?
Tomoko.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tomoko is my least favorite by default. I don't think
here's
she's
the problem. She's a realist.
Yeah, she's too. I feel like she's my least favorite by default. So put like that in like an asterisk by default because I couldn't really think of one, so I just defaulted to her.
I picked her because she's kind of a bitch.
The problem is she's written to be the realist of the group,
which of course is going to make her a bitch, but.
Yeah, and a fucking I say it by default because here's the thing, in the show itself, I think Tomoko's actually pretty funny. So I can't.
She has a lot of great moments, but it's just the underlying bitchiness that I don't like.
She's kind of there. She's there to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, she's the devil's advocate character,
and she wants to she wants to fucking start a coup against her own parents. So
yeah,
like she wants what's best for them to just like tell them the truth, but she is very bitchy about it.
Yeah. With that being but with that being said, let's talk about other stuff that's really good in this show, like the fucking animation. For some reason,
why did this show go so hard with the animation? Huh?
Because there's some shots in this that are downright gorgeous.
And like when it really wants to, the movement and the actual like fluidity of the animation is like top tier. I think a lot of it has to do with the director, which is Tomohiko Ito, who's the director of SAO, at least the first 2 seasons of it. And he also directed Erased. And he worked on Blue Exorcist and Guilty Crown and a bunch of other stuff. He was also the assistant unit director on Shane will like this Summer Wars.
Okay.
So this guy knows his shit. And you can clearly tell. The animation in this is fucking great. A1 once again with the unlimited pockets.
Yeah. And it's
good old A1.
It's apparent from the very beginning, like that first scene where Hachiken does the mad dash to catch the calf, and he just turns into like this smeary blob, and he's like 30 frames a second. I'm like, what the fuck? Am I watching the right show?
Let's talk about the comedy in this show. This show is
hilarious.
This show is really funny. I did not expect this show to be as funny as it was. I was expecting more kind of like a laid back kind of like drama. No, this shit's fucking funny. This shit's funny as hell, and I can't.
This show does something that Fullmetal does very well. It can switch tones extremely fast, but extremely well.
It does, yeah.
Like it can go from hilarious to fucking dramatic, man.
Yeah, like, there's a good transition between.
Who knew that cutting off a chicken's head would be the funniest fucking thing in the world?
Like the first gag they do is cutting off a chicken's head and being like, "Here, you want this?"
they cut off a chicken's head, and there's just blood everywhere, and then like the chicken's head's like blurred out because it's
that's
dead.
what got me is that they fucking censor it. I'm like,
they censored it because it's a beheaded chicken, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna cook this shit up for you, and then later on in the season they fucking give him like fucking the chicken. They give him
like I was not expecting that. I was just sitting there. I see the chicken. It just casually just cuts its head off, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah." And then he eats it, and he's like, "It's a delicious chicken."
Good.
I will admit, man, smoked chicken, fucking delicious.
Speaking of food in this show, the fucking food in this show.
This is food. Listen, this is Food Wars quality.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Do not watch this show on an empty stomach. You will
be hungry.
Eat your computer. You will eat your computer.
I almost did.
You will want to eat the screen because there's so much delicious looking food in here. The pizza episode in particular.
Oh man,
pizza, dude. Oh,
it looks so fucking delicious. Just everything about the food in this show is great. I think it's set on a farm, so you would imagine that it would have good food.
Yeah, they gotta have good food. If they grow it themselves, it's got to be quality.
It's got to be damn good food, but holy shit, the food in this looks great. Makes me want to go to the countryside, go get some fresh food, and
we have a pizza party in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, dude, they party outside in the field next to a fucking pizza oven, and they fucking have a good old time. It looked fun. I wanted to be at that party. I wanted to be at that party. Or fucking Shane. Anything else you want to mention about this show before we get into stuff we didn't like?
I like it. Really, this show does comedy really well, but I think I like the more dramatic side of it.
Yeah,
more so than that, because especially when we get to season 2, there's a lot of emphasis on character relationships, character building, really diving into who these people are and how they interact with one another. And I think that's the strongest part of the show is when they focus on that, which is why I actually like season 2 more than this one, because season 2 is basically all that. But the show really does character drama exceptionally well. Animation's great. Can we talk about that bop of an ED though?
Oh yeah! Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I love that ED, man. I have it on my phone downloaded because I love it.
It's one of the best EDs I've seen in a fucking while. It's such a good song.
It's a fucking country song, dude, and it's so catchy.
Mm-hmm. It is. I don't normally like country. I like this.
So what was it about this that got me?
I don't know.
Because they weren't talking about fucking tractors or some garbage like that.
Well, it was also Japanese with no subs, so like.
No, I fucking. If they were talking about fucking, because fucking American country, they talk about the tractor, they talk about the dog, they talk about the fucking.
My wife got fucked by my dog,
and then got ran over by the tractor.
I got ran over by the tractor. I lost my tractor, I lost my wife, and I lost my dog. That's what it is. That's pretty much the fucking. That's country in a nutshell.
Yep.
Sorry if you like country, but you're the worst kind of person.
If you like country, if you like country, only listen to Johnny Cash because that's like the only good country out there. Johnny Cash is good. Outside of that, no. But that ED's a bop. The EOP's a bop too. The
EOP's good, but it's just not as good as the ending.
No,
dude.
It's definitely not.
Yeah, it's not.
I would skip the opening, but always watch the ending.
I did the same thing. I would always skip the first OP, but always watch the ED.
Yep.
Which was actually reverse in season 2. Weird thing.
Yep. No, I always watch the ending for season 2 because I loved it because it's Goose House.
Well, Goose House, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fucking but I love the ED. Let's talk about some stuff we didn't like though. The show's too fast. Ironically, the show's way too fast.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like it operates on like a moment to moment basis, but there's no like interludes anywhere. It just goes literally moment to moment to moment.
It's like and now this and this now this. And it's like, calm down.
Now they're making pizza.
And it's like, okay, calm down, show. Calm down.
It's like, hey guys, do you remember this? Okay, we're done.
The show doesn't slow down and like let you take in the scenery. likable, just the atmosphere. It kind of like it does it. The only times it does it, it'll do it for like a bit and then be like, oh, and then something funny happens. And that's pretty much the show in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And it works for what it is, but I feel like that's Ito's directing though, because Ito is an action director first and foremost. He's a guy. He does action shows, and he also does like thrillers and stuff. So having him on Silver Spoon might have been a weird choice.
I mean, it weirdly works with the actual content of the show because Hachiken is a fish out of water, kind of like Ito was directing the show.
Yeah, and and he does comedy very well.
Yes.
So like I think and it really works in that sense. But the show's way too fast. It needed to slow down. Thankfully, in season 2, it does act.
It slows way the fuck down in season 2.
Yeah, it slows.
Season 2 took a lot of the problems with season 1 and just kind of like, we got you.
Yeah, we got you. Anyways, final scores for season 1. I think we're ready to get those out.
I'm going to stick with the 9 out of 10 for it. It's got its problems and it's fast, but it's consistent, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Shane, what you gonna give it?
I agree. Very solid 9 out of 10. I was gonna go with an 8 originally because again, even though I think the show does what it does very well, it didn't really leave any lasting impressions on me. And then the pork bowl episode happened, and I was like, "All right, that bumps it up. This is a 9 now."
Yeah,
I'm also giving it a 9. I loved watching this show for sure. This is definitely this is definitely a show I really loved watching, and I really enjoy it quite a bit. Now let's move on to season 2.
Baby.
Move on to season 2. Season 2 takes place really after the first season and follows the fall season. The main focus of this season is the fact that it is less focused on Hachiken, but more focused on his two best friends, Komamba and Mikage, who both have their own personal stuff to deal with in this season in particular. As exams come up and as more competition, like more equestrian stuff comes up, and competitions, festivals, all that fun stuff. Let's talk about it. This season is really good.
Mm-hmm.
This season is real good.
Yeah.
Shane, how do you like this season, Shane?
So I watched season 2 immediately after I finished season 1, and like I've said before already on this podcast, I like season 2 more. I think season 2 is higher quality than season 1, mainly because it slows things down and focuses more on the character drama. Because, like I said, I think that's the strongest aspect of the series is when it focuses on its characters and the struggles that they're going through. And this season is basically just all that. Because it focuses on Aki and her sticking up to her family, how she doesn't want to take over the ranch, she wants to work with horses, the whole thing with Komaba and his family ranch shutting down, and then Hachiken just in the middle of all of that, trying to juggle all of these different problems while also
they set it up in the first episode too.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
by the way,
we don't know what's going on because everything is portrayed through Hachiken's eyes.
Yeah.
So to him, for now, it's just like he doesn't know what's going on. All he knows is that something's wrong.
Yeah, because like Matt said, the foreshadowing on that was perfect. Yeah, it's just all of these issues with Hachiken in the middle, and he's trying to juggle it all while also dealing with his own stuff with his family and his brother showing up at the most opportune times. And
his brother's by the way.
Yeah, his brother's
his
great.
brother's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This season I liked it more than the first, just because of its sheer focus on that character drama.
Yeah. I like this season more a lot. Josh, do you like this season more?
Oh, absolutely. Just like Shane said, the focus on more character, not more character drama, but more focus on character relations itself is really what sold me, because I'm a huge fan of just like romance and shit. Which, ooh, baby, the relationship between Aki and Hachiken was so fucking well done.
The only problem is they don't get together in this season.
Read the manga.
I don't.
Alright, so like it's So yeah, I really love this season. What really sold me though is honestly the character drama, but honestly is the subtle shift into it becoming basically a romance anime this season between Hachiken and Mikage. Because whole shit, they're fucking cute. They're so cute, so cute. I can't. This is like throughout the entire show. Every time they were on screen together, I just wanted to like just mush them together. Just now kiss already. Like just please
kiss.
It was just their relationship is so well developed.
Like, hey guys, if you have to go out like behind the horse shed and fuck, it's fine. Like we can cover you.
I still think the best scene is like when Hachi is one of the best scenes of the season was in beginning of episode 10 when Hachiken is basically saying to Mikage like, yo, I want to help you.
Yo, lean on me.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment was when Hachiken got back from the hospital. And Mikage just teared up, but couldn't show him. And I was like, oh.
She's like, oh, thank God he's okay. Oh, fuck.
My heart, man, just kind of like, was like, oh.
Fucking Hachiken and Mikage, like, they're talking in the barn. And he's like, lean on me. And Mikage almost let it slip. Like, right there, just like, she almost lets it slip.
She almost says "I love you," and I was like, ah!
And she almost says like, and that's what I love. She almost says that's what I love about you, and she almost says that, but she slips up, and then Hachiken notices it. I like this little detail. Unlike other protagonists, Hachiken is not stupid. He notices. He notices that, and they're about to fucking like possibly like confess right there and then they get interrupted by an idiot who comes in and it's like, oh, he opens the door and he's like, hey, why are you guys still in here? Go to sleep. Oh.
He's like, oh, my bad.
And then he just starts slowly closing the fucking door.
Oh, that's like, also what I like about this. That's what I like about this show in general. The characters aren't idiots.
It's like, hey, do you want me to lock the barn?
And they're like, wait. All right, so like, let's talk about favorite episode from this season, because there's actually multiple choices for favorite episode of this season. Shane, what's your favorite episode of this season?
For season 2, my favorite episode, I'm gonna have to go with episode 9.
The Last Milk.
Yes, which is the episode where Komaba, they get the news that Komaba's family ranch is shutting
This is
down.
My favorite too. This is my choice too.
Yeah.
This is my
goddamn gut punch. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. I will agree with you on that.
Yeah. So this is a gut punch of it. This is a gut punch of an episode
because
yeah.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
No, this is a gut punch of an episode because like for like one thing I knows about this episode is that the one thing this episode does really good from a directorial perspective is it when this episode happens, all the color from the episode's like just drained.
Yeah,
it's all gray, it's all sad, it's all like murky.
Like they turn the saturation down to give it like that murky, washed out vibe.
Yeah.
We see things we feel the way Hachiken felt, where we knew nothing, then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, and then it makes it that much more emotionally impactful because you know exactly how hard Komaba has been working towards taking over his family's ranch. So then all of a sudden for it to just go into foreclosure, it's like, all
that work he put in for nothing. It's just like, what the fuck?
And their team loses the baseball tournament.
Dude, when they lost the baseball tournament, that the build up towards that is like the biggest like fucking swerve of all.
I was like, they're gonna win, and then he catches the ball, and it's just like it's over.
Yeah, he misses the ball, and then it's just like he misses the ball, and it's just kind of like I've seen the panel from the manga for this, and I love what the manga did for this. I think that's something the anime kind of didn't have as strong as the manga. The manga just has like 10 pages of silence when the ball drops. And to me, I think like it's just all the reaction shots in the anime of like everyone just shocked that they missed the ball. That's like takes up like 10 pages in the manga. I think that's I can only imagine that's really good fucking storytelling right there. Just it's just silence for 10 pages, and you just have to soak in just what the hell just happened. I think that everything with episode 9 is great, and there's lots of fucking. I really cemented Komamba is probably one of my favorite characters in the show.
He is the boy.
He's the boy. Nah, you know who the real boy is?
Who?
Our boy Tepu for doing the cleaning duties.
Tepu is a G. Tepu
is a bro. Tepu is a fucking bro.
Yeah, Tepu is a bro.
Hey, you were gone. Don't worry, I did cleaning duty for you. Just cover for me.
I got you, fam.
Just cover for me this week.
Did you notice that he's drinking a Pepsi?
My boy.
He's drinking a Pepsi. Yeah, he is.
I hate him now. Worst character drinking a Pepsi. All right, let's talk about favorite characters for this season. I have a different favorite character for this season.
I do too.
Who's yours?
Is your character Mikage?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Is it yours, Shane?
No, mine's still Hachigen.
All right, but let's talk about Mikage. Oh my God,
man, this season was very kind to her.
She's so good this season. I can't easily probably my favorite character outside of Hachigen.
Listen, no one A1 Studios Mikage.
Yeah, Mikage is so good. She's so cute. She's so happy. She's so peppy, but she has a lot of depth. And when she stands up to her parents,
it's one of the best scenes in the whole show.
I love how realistic it is too. They don't just they don't argue. It's like an actual discussion, and they actually they're like, yeah, it's like, okay, so it's like you want to do this. It's like, okay, you want to do this. That's cool, but how?
No, the thing I love about that scene is that you can tell that they want to argue, because her mom and her grandma are kind of pissed because they just assumed she was going to take over when they stepped down. But then her dad, who we know is just he's a fucking G.
The dad's we kind of saw this coming.
Yeah, her dad brings them back in, and it's okay.
The dad's no, I know this for a while. It's just that I wanted her to talk about it for herself and not have me say anything.
Yeah.
His dad is a G, and also when his dad flips a table because Hachiken was because Hachiken spoke at all.
Shut up, farmhand.
Whenever Hachiken's dad sees Hachiken and whenever Aki's dad sees fucking Hachiken and Aki together, it's just
it's hilarious.
It's just
Don't you dare touch my fucking daughter.
No, I still think the funniest one is so you've been looking at my daughter, you've been looking at my daughter. It's no,
I haven't. So you think she's ugly then?
Just punches so you think she's ugly then, and I'm just I fucking love him. He's great.
He's a relatable father.
Yeah, he's a great dad. But yeah, Mikage is my favorite. Let's talk about bad fathers though, with least favorite.
Hachigen's dad.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what a fucking prick. What a fucking dick.
This guy is how not to be a parent 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
his mom is great, but
his mom's fine. Yeah, his mom's perfectly fine. She's kind of caught in the middle though, because she lets it happen. But there's not much she can really do about that.
Yeah. His mom's a sweetheart. I don't blame his mom for this at all. It's literally mostly his dad. His dad's a dick. And you can clearly and I love his Hachiken's brother.
I like his brother.
But especially when he talks to his dad, and he basically just tells his dad to fuck off and hangs up.
Yeah, his dad's why'd you drop out? And his brother's
I went there. I did what you wanted. Piss off.
So bye, and then just hangs up on him.
Yeah, and I hangs up on him, and I would go get study materials for you, but I don't want to see dad, so bye.
Which, you know what? Understandable.
Yeah, and
I get where his dad's coming from, but he does it in such a terrible way.
Yeah, he does it in the worst condescending manner. It's
yeah.
It's once a failure, always a failure, right? That's not how that works.
Yeah, that's literally not how it works.
Yeah.
At all.
Like, just because you failed at one thing one time doesn't mean you're just a failure for the rest of your life. Sure, sometimes that can happen, but
it's like Stain. I'm relating this back to Stain. It's like Stain sees a person do one bad thing to be a hero, and he's like, "Well, you're a bad guy forever. You can't change yourself." Yeah. Ida's like, I know I did the wrong choice, but I can change.
I will be a hero. But yeah, like his dad's a dick.
That fucking that scene in the final episode where they're just having like a really quiet, awkward dinner, and then they just blow up at each other.
Yep,
some great shit.
Yeah, great shit. Anything else from this season we really like? Because there's a lot of stuff in this season.
The consistency.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much consistency. There's a great consistency here. Just fucking, and the way it builds up the main story, like the main emotional points too. Like it's not like immediate, just like a drama. Like it slowly builds and builds and builds and builds over the course of the entire season, and it just becomes an and by like episode 9, 10, and 11, it's just an emotional, just like ride. There's so many emotions. Fucking, the character relations are really fucking. I think that this is really kind. This season was really kind to the supporting cast. I think that there's so much great stuff in the supporting cast. Even character, even like them get a lot to do this season, and they're pretty great.
Yeah.
And Shane, anything else you want to mention before we get into more?
In terms of positives, there's not anything I really want to mention that hasn't either already been mentioned or was same from season 1.
Yeah, so pretty much it's a lot of the same positives are like the same positive season 1.
However,
really good animation.
Yeah.
However, criticisms, I do have one major criticism, which again is kind of a nitpick if you want to be technical about it, but it is an issue that I saw. This show has a read the manga ending.
It really does.
Yeah.
It just kind of ends, and nothing's really resolved for the most part. And it's just read the manga to find out more.
I don't know if there's ever going to be a season 3.
There probably won't at this point.
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years, and the manga's currently on hiatus. It's still ongoing. So I have no idea if this series will ever fucking get a second season.
It probably won't get a third season, and
especially since season 2 didn't do both seasons didn't do very well in Japan, like sales wise.
I mean that makes sense to me. This seems like a very niche kind of show.
Very niche kind of show. Yeah. Which is funny because critically this show actually, the manga is like one of the most acclaimed manga of like the past couple years. It's won some really prestigious shit. It won the Tozaka Prize.
I mean, look at the writer.
Yeah, like it won the Tozaka Cultural Prize, which is only given out to like anime, where it's like only given out to manga, which is like considered like the best of the best. And keep in mind, this was the same stuff that was written. The same stuff that's won that stuff is like Silent Voice, Golden Kamui, Kingdom, Fullmetal Alchemist.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah,
it's just what we talked about with the sales chart. Japan is stupid.
Japan dumb.
Japan mega dumb.
Japan, listen.
We're not much better.
No,
we love you.
We
Japan, we love you. We love you, Japan. But what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's like my only major criticism with season 2 is that it has a read the manga kind of ending where it just kind of ends, and it's like, hey, do you want to see more? Go read the manga, because we're probably never going to get another season of this.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, too, man.
Yeah, it's a shame. They do the smart thing, and that season 2 does wrap up. In the final episode, does wrap up the storyline for that season, so at least you get closure for the arc of that season. But the story itself is not very close to being done.
Yeah, nowhere close.
Nowhere close to being done. I think we're time for final score here.
I think so, too.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Like, pretty consistent across the board, really.
This show is... That's the biggest thing this show has going for it, is it's so consistent.
Yeah, it is really consistent. Yeah. And so, I think we're pretty much done talking about Silver Spoon, and time to move on to pick our next anime of the featured anime of the podcast. Now, you guys don't know how this works. We rotate between me and Shane's picks and a randomizer. So this was Silver Spoon was a randomizer. It's time for me and Shane to pick, and it's my turn to pick.
It's Matt's turn.
So the show we're covering next podcast is a show that has just recently wrapped up. It's a show that just recently wrapped up. And it's a show that surprised all of us with its level of quality, its consistent animation, its fun, lighthearted nature, and the fact that it was surprisingly that it was nothing like we expected, but at the same time, kind of exactly what we wanted. So next episode of the podcast, we are going to be covering the fantasy shonen isekai. That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Oh!
On the podcast.
Hey, I already watched it, so I can actually be on it.
I am very excited to talk about this. I think Shane has sung his praises more than a lot.
Yeah. This show real surprised me.
Don't forget, you got the Isekai Master here.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. So we're gonna cover that time I got reincarnated as a slime next episode on the podcast. And with that, I am your host, Matt, aka Legion Rex. With me, I have my co-host. You can find me on Twitter and on YouTube at Legion Rex. With me, I got my co-host Shane, aka The Bearded One. You can find him on Twitter and on YouTube at The Bearded Gaming Network. On his YouTube channel, he does stuff like podcasts, Let's Plays, unboxings, the occasional what the fuck. You can go find him there.
He's the boy.
The boy. With us, we also have our other co-host, Josh, aka Wheat Machine. You can find him.
Oh no, it's a new Twitter, man.
Oh, the Wheat Machine Reborn. You can go find him on Twitter at Wheat Machine Reborn.
Yeah, you can find such great tweets such as beep beep boop and boop boop.
I'm working as a part-time sage now, so I give out some good advice to people. You know.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I think we're pretty much done to time to wrap up here. We had a great time talking about this, and we'll see you all next time for some slime.
Yeah, get ready to be slimed.
Get ready to be slimed.
We'll see you next time.
It's disgusting.
It's not disgusting. It's fine. And Nickelodeon does it all the time, and they do kids, so it's fine.
All right. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. All right. See you later. Thank you for listening to The G.A.P. If you like what you've seen, you can subscribe to the G.A.P. Podcast YouTube channel to get the latest podcasts as they go live. Be sure to like and comment and let us know what you guys think of the show. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.